Hey friends, what's up? Ash here with Gents. How's it going? Hope you're doing well.
It's flanker time. That's right. Time to talk about some flankers.
We're talking about the best flanker from 10 different huge fragrance lines. So basically, I've got 10 different lines of fragrances here that you should know all of them. And I'm gonna give you my favorite flanker from each one of these lines. And since it has to be a flanker, that means the original cannot be the best one for this list. And in the not so distant future, we'll do this again, except we'll do the worst flanker from each huge line. So let's jump into it. Let's check these out. Now, the fragrances I'm gonna share with you guys today are all designers, mainly because it's a lot easier to find huge fragrance lines that are designers, and also because, at least until recently, you didn't really see flankers in the niche world all that often, although they have started to pop up here lately. And today I shall bestow upon you just one single code. Lucky sent Gents 10% off the whole website, that's right. All right, let's kick it off with Dolce Gabbana. I'm gonna be tackling 2 lines from Dolce Gabbana in this video. We'll do them back to back. The first line is the One. And there are a lot of different fragrances to choose from here. A lot of fragrances in the line are actually really good. You've got the exclusive fragrances, all 3 of those very solid. Some of the One flankers that have come out here lately are a little hit or miss, but some are still very nice. But the one I'm going with has gotta be the One Eau De Parfum. I feel like as soon as this one came out, it was just understood like, oh, this is the pinnacle of the One DNA. The way that it was originally imagined in the Eau de Toilette, this is an evolution of that made better in pretty much every way. Now that I've said that, they're gonna come out with like the One Parfum and it's somehow gonna be way better than this one, but I'll believe it when I see it, or smell it, I guess. Amber, tobacco, ginger, cardamom, and grapefruit, some of the notes in the fragrance. It smells awesome. To this day, it still smells so good. A great compliment for an amazing date night fragrance. Fall and winter time, this stuff shines. One of the best spicy, warm, ambery fragrances you'll ever smell in the designer realm. So I've got to go with the One Eau De Parfum here. I know the One Luminous Night is really good. The One Mysterious Night, Royal Night, those are very good. The One Eau De Parfum Intense, very good, but the One Eau De Parfum for me. Okay, the next line is Light Blue. Now, the Light Blue line is a little bit more difficult for me than the One line. Of course, you can't include the original Light Blue. Not that it would win anyway, but that leaves us really, at least in my mind, with Light Blue Eau Intense, Light Blue Forever, and Light Blue Italian Love. A lot of the flankers that came out before Eau Intense, I think are good. And I don't mean this in an overly negative way, but they're solid, like throwaway summertime releases. By that, I mean they come out, they're there for 1 year, they're good, they're passable, but they're not amazing. And so when it goes away the next year, you don't miss it too much and you're just kind of ready for the next one. That's how those fragrances were. Then you had Eau Intense come out, which is, you know, a little bit divisive, not a huge amount. Most people seem to love it, but it also does have its detractors. But I think that really kind of kicked the Light Blue line up a little bit. Then you had Forever, which I'm in love with, and Italian Love, which is very similar in ways to Forever. So which one did I go with? I just went with Forever. A lot of citrus here, especially grapefruit. A rindy grapefruit, tart, bitter, sour, but also sweet and fresh at the same time. Bergamot, ozonic notes, and a little woodiness in the base there with vetiver. The people that don't like this generally don't like it because of the opening. The citrus, for one reason or another, won't work for them. They'll think it's just too citrus heavy and they don't want to smell like citrus. Or some people will say it comes off in a very bitter kind of way, which I actually like a lot. But for me, this is an amazing release with a very realistic citrus note that I think makes you stand out in summer, and it's a big compliment for me as well. So Light Blue Forever, love this stuff. On to Yves Saint Laurent's Y line. Now this is a difficult one, and I flop back and forth, as I've said a number of times, between my 2 favorites in the line. I think the reimagining of the Eau de Toilette, the reformulation, is actually better than the original. So that's a solid opening point for the fragrance line at this point. Y Live, nice, sweet, fresh, a little Invictus-y, a little youthful, but still nice. It really comes down to Y Eau de Parfum and Y Le Parfum for me though. And today I am choosing Y Eau de Parfum. Although sometimes I like Y Le Parfum more. They're pretty similar. I would say of all the fragrances in the lineup, The two that are the closest are the Eau de Parfum and Le Parfum, so I guess it makes sense. Apple, ginger, amberwood, sage, tonka, some of the notes in the fragrance. I don't know why I pretended I was spraying with every note. I don't know what I'm doing here. Versatility through the roof, huge compliment factor, great performance as well. A little bit sweet, maybe too sweet for summertime use for a lot of people. It's that type of fragrance you go too heavy, it's gonna make your head, you know, surrounded by fragrance, and it's just gonna, your head's gonna explode, actually. It's gonna be like that movie, Scanners. Next, we're doing Bleu de Chanel from, of course, Chanel. So we have not too many choices here. We got 3. The one that I'm going with as the best overall is this one, the Eau de Parfum. I am partial to the Eau de Toilette a lot of times because that's the first one I got. That's the first one I smelled, and I still really like that one. But when you're talking just overall versatility and usability, the Eau de Parfum ever so slightly edges it out. It is a little bit classier, a little bit more elegant than the Eau de Toilette, but it still has that wearability. It's got that citrus ginger combination that smells so amazing off the top with a bit of incense wafting through. You also have amber warmth and sweetness. You got cedar, you have mint. Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum is like the top-notch, classy, gentlemanly, and yet still very modern and even slightly youthful blue fragrance in the designer realm. Killer stuff. Acqua di Gio time. It is my former signature scent, the original. Wore it for a long time. Occupies a big spot deep within my heart. Acqua di Gio, one of the fragrances, along with some other hits like Dracar Noir, that really got me into scents to begin with. So I would imagine the majority of you guys out there watching this video today would probably say Acqua di Gio Profumo for you. Can't argue with that. That one really took off in a big way when it was released, and then you've seen what Acqua di Gio has done since then as far as modern fragrances. They just keep pumping them out. People keep buying them. But for me, it's gonna be this one, Profondo. Sea notes, citrus mineral notes, and rosemary. Of course, if you've watched this channel at all, you already knew it was gonna be Profondo. It was a foregone conclusion. I love the little green touch to it. I love the minerality. Everything about this rules. So Acqua di Gio Profondo, that's for me. Up next, we got the Gentleman line, and this one's really difficult because after the Eau de Toilette, I like pretty much all of them, maybe to differing degrees, but all of them I think are really good. I almost got choked up there for a second. The one I'm gonna go with, and maybe this is recency bias, maybe, is Gentleman Reserve Privé. Iris, chestnut, whiskey, woods, some of the notes in here. This is absolutely killer. Now, it's not a huge departure from the whole iris setup that really took off with Gentleman Eau de Parfum. You can find huge similarities between the two fragrances, but that's not a surprise really. I mean, it is after all a flanker, so it should have a similarity. But shout out to all the fragrances in that line after the Eau de Toilette. I mean, the Eau de Toilette's not terrible, but shout out to all the flankers in this line. They do it right. Invictus, up next from Paco Rabanne. And this one is, it's not really cheating, I don't feel like, because it's just your favorite flanker, right? The best flanker according to me in the line. So I'm gonna go with this one, Invictus Victory, which doesn't really smell like Invictus. It smells more like Pure Excess, also by Paco Rabanne. So I'm picking an Invictus flanker as the best one that smells like another fragrance done by the same house. Vanilla, tonka, amber, lavender, some of the notes in the fragrance, very sweet, very rich, very dark, great nighttime fragrance, great fall and wintertime fragrance. Invictus Victory, it's just like the type of fragrance I would want to wear, this style of fragrance anyway, when it's really cold out. Now, to kind of make up for this one, if you wanted an Invictus fragrance that still smells like Invictus instead of Invictus that smells like Pure Excess, maybe go with Invictus Legend. That one I would prefer to wear over the original Invictus. My wife likes it in a big way, so Invictus Legend is really nice as well. Up next, a line from Emporio Armani. It's Stronger With You, and really all the flankers in this line are pretty good. Some of them I like a little more than others, but on the whole, there's not one that really sticks out to me as being terrible, you know, really under all the other ones. I definitely have a hierarchy in mind, but still, even the one that I dislike the most or like the least, I guess would be a better way of putting it, is not bad. And this one, kind of difficult. difficult because I'll tell you, Stronger With You Oud is right up toward the top. But I did just get that one in. I have not worn it anywhere near as much as all the other ones, and it's more difficult to find. So it's another one where I'm like, is this recency bias? This would be like really extreme recency bias. So I'm not gonna put that as my favorite, as the best, because I've not been able to wear that a single day when it was chilly outside, and that's really when that fragrance should shine. So that one is up there, but I'm not gonna put it as the best here. I'm gonna go with Stronger With You, absolutely. Little bit of a similarity when you look at the note breakdown to what they did with Gentleman Eau de Parfum Reserve Privé with the chestnut and the booze. This also has that chestnut, and it has booze. Only here it's rum instead of whiskey. Also has vanilla, lavender, and cedar. I think that it's ever so slightly more appealing to me than Stronger With You Intensely. I do want to say though, Stronger With You Intensely, and I bring this up a lot, is the strongest of the bunch. So if you're looking for one that's just gonna be getting the most attention possible, the loudest one, the sweetest one, the one that lasts the longest, that punches people in the face with no regard at all for their olfactive safety, Stronger With You Intensely. But for me, absolutely. Dior Savage is up next. I figured I had to put this one in here because otherwise it's kind of rude, right? I have the Y line, I got the Bleu de Chanel line. If I leave out Savage, I mean, that's not very nice. So with this one, same deal as some of the other fragrances in this lineup. I was going back and forth, you know? Do I go Sauvage Elixir? Do I go Sauvage Eau de Parfum? That's kind of what I had in my mind. I ended up settling this time on Sauvage Elixir. Yeah, it's a difficult choice to make, but I think Sauvage Elixir just does things a little bit differently, kind of stands out, you know? It doesn't really smell much like Sauvage, you know, when you compare this to the Eau de Toilette, the Eau de Parfum, its own thing for sure. I love the throwback feel that this has, you know, it reminds me a little bit of some of the fragrances from the 80s, which I'm a big fan of. Performance is fantastic, quality very high as well. Very warm smelling, it has sandalwood, it has cinnamon, it's got nutmeg. It's a fragrance that's modern, yet very, very classy. So for Sauvage, we're going Elixir. And last but not least, Polo Blue. Now, Polo Blue EDT, I don't really like. I know it's a classic, a modern classic, but I don't like it at all, actually. And then a lot of the flankers in the Polo Blue line are solid, if not a little underwhelming at times, but still really wearable. The one I'm gonna go with is Gold Blend. Ginger, melon, incense, amber, and citrus. This has that blue fragrance versatility, that complement factor that you would expect. It has incense, like you're gonna find in Bleu de Chanel, which I really enjoy. It gives the fragrance a little more depth, a little more richness, which allows it to work better in cool situations, but the incense isn't overdone, so you can still obviously wear this in spring and summer too. Got great classiness to it, and I think it stands out amongst its peers, of which there is a new one like every year. The brand at this point basically has forgotten that any other Polo lines exist, I guess. I mean, we did get Polo Cologne Intense, so there's that. But you get a Polo Blue like every year. Polo Red, like non-existent now. You got the original, and then I guess Intense and Extreme are going bye-bye. Polo Black is also pretty much forgotten. And there are other colors out there too, you know? Go for one of those new colors. But Polo Blue, I'm going Gold Blend. There we go, guys. 10 of the biggest fragrance lines out there designer-wise, and the flanker that I personally like the most. Although if you catch me on a different day, maybe I say One Eau De Parfum or something like that, but yeah, for now, this is good. Thank you guys for hanging with me here till the end. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.